All right, welcome to the week 6 lecture. As you can see, I'm getting ready, or I'm in the library here. So I'm going to show you a resource that will be helpful with content for this week. Our text, chapter 5, this week focuses on the measurement of emotions. And the text describes three different types of ways to measure. And it talks about self-report measures, which is the most common. And then it talks about observational methods and then psychophysiological strategies. So let me start with the psychophysiological strategies because you won't uh, see that in the library because that's a different type of assessment. But I use it myself as an example. I have a routine where each day I exercise and meditate. And the way that I track my health doing this is I collect um, my level of oxygen. You've probably seen these small devices that you can place on your finger, and it gives you a readout um, for your level of oxygen. So I check that, and then I also check my blood pressure, and then I also check my pulse rate. And so what this is biofeedback that I get that tells me how well I'm doing. And in times of stress, I would check it more often because I would expect that for me, I might see, um, say, higher blood pressure, for example, or higher pulse rate or lower oxygen. So anyway, that's biofeedback. Now, how would we approach this in an organization in a way that's affordable and doable? And by the way, and sometimes doctors collect this data by having people wear devices. For example, once I wore what they called a data pack, and they just wanted to monitor my biofeedback for a couple of weeks and to see if anything turned up. And it was, and it was great feedback. Turned out that everything was fine. But in an organization, there is a way to go about doing it. For example, and one way I was doing it in training when we did secondary stress interventions is that I used it's a very small thermometer that you can purchase. I know they're a couple inches long, and the bead sticks over the edge. So what a person does, they hold that thermometer between their thumb and finger, and they get a reading. It'll show a temperature of some type, and it's normally it's like below the body temperature in the fingers because the extremities are typically colder. And then you would do a progressive muscle relaxation or meditation, and they would continue holding the thermometer during that process, and then check it at the end. And what you would see if they were being effective in their practice, the temperature on the thermometer will increase because blood will move better into the extremities. So what it does, it gives a person biofeedback on the activity that they're doing. And for a lot of people, this is very motivating. Um, I've seen people change the temperature as much as 10 degrees in 20 minutes, and which is very good. It means that their muscle relaxation exercise or meditation is very effective. So that's the getting the biofeedback or the psychophysiological feedback. Now, if you'll follow me here, I'm in the library. So I'm going to click on library, and let's see, give it a minute here. Hopefully something, yeah. Go to databases, A to Z, click on that, and you'll get this across the top. So click on the letter M, and right away, what we're going to get right here, Mental Measurements Yearbook. This is a terrific resource. notice the description here, a comprehensive guide to over 2,000 testing instruments in the areas of psychology, education, business, and leadership. Entries include publisher, test purpose, price, edited reviews, and purchase information if it's available. And so this is a great database. So I'm going to click on this database. You can see it's hosted by EBSCOhost. So the first search that I want to do, I'm going to type in stress. Remember last week I talked about the Thomas and Timon instrument. So let me type in resiliency. I'm going to do a search, see what comes up. Oops, let's click on search. There we go. That helps. If you spell it correctly, it helps. Okay, so I can see right away. Here it is, stress resiliency profile for Thomas and Timon. This is a great instrument. I love using this. And notice what it gives you here. So I look at this. There's the author's publication date. CPP is the publisher. It's a good publisher to deal with for organizational tests. It's designed to identify some ways individuals unintentionally contribute to their own levels of stress. And it does this, as you can see, through the 3 scores: deficiency, focusing, necessitating, skill recognition. That's what I talked about last week. And price data runs out on about, it says here, $18.50 per test booklet. You buy them in packets of 10. You can see it looks like a little cheaper if you do it that way too. And then it's self-report. So that's, by far, you're going to see the biggest category of tests are going to be self-report tests. And then it gives you the purpose. And then down here, there will always be a review, and then it tells you who it's by. This particular one here you can see is by William Mertz, who's a professor in the School of Psychology Training Program, California State University. So he gives a review of this, and so it lets you make a decision. Is this something you would like to use or not? All right, so let's, that's a self-report. And once again, the text talks about some problems with that. And it says, for example, one of the advantages of observation is that a person may learn something they didn't know because the data is coming from someone else. Now, also let's look at stress, emotions in the workplace, and we'll do a search on that. Let's see what comes up here. You can see we've got 8 tests that fit this description I typed in. This one here, this is one I see frequently in research. It's an emotional intelligence test, so it's designed, once again, self-report. Down here, description gives you all the scales. Let me see. Oh, here you go. 21 content scores. And then you can, as you can see, shows you all the scores that you get from this. And then down here, we have a review. This comes from Pennsylvania State University. And so that's another self-report, but an example of measuring emotions. Now, let me see. Let me go back to the results list. Here we go. Let's see if I can get the right one up here. Let me move to observation. Do a search here. Got 13 hits on this one. And here's one I want to show you. This is a good one to illustrate this. This is an example of a standardized test that's based upon observation. So it fits that other category, which can be very useful to people because it's not self-report. So purpose constructed to assess facial movements or expressions. Also, it says there's a newer edition of this available, so you would know that. And let's see, what are the scores? 66 action units, and it's scored through observation of facial expressions. And then down here, you can see once again you got a couple of reviews listed here. So this gives you an alternative. So what you can do as you research your selected organization, you can come into this database, and by using keywords and playing around with the keywords, as you can see, you can come up with some choices for standardized tests that you could recommend using to assess emotions or even stress within participants within an organization. Now you notice some of these are clinical too, like for example you got the Rorschach down here. So you would want to check for some of these. If they're clinical, I doubt that you'd want to use them in an organization. But this is a terrific database. I highly recommend you try it out and see what's available as you work on your course project. And this is a way to discover the different ways for measuring emotion. Thank you.